Welcome, everybody, to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. It's Friday, so on Friday, we like to talk tech in English in a way that you can understand it, simplify it, and bring you the current news going on in tech. Now, today we are going to start out with this day in tech, with this week in tech history. However, before we do that, we want to give a shout out to everybody over in the clubhouse. For those of you watching live and for those of you who are watching on the replay, we just want to say, hey, thank you for joining in and for watching and joining the conversation. So we're going to get this party started. We hope that you are ready, that you have your favorite beverage. I've got my water here. It's going to be over 100 today in California. So we're hydrating over here on this side of the country, and we hope that you are doing the same because it seems to be a nationwide heat wave. So with that, we just want to welcome you to the program and say, hey, I know we've got something special for you today. So you might want to even get your pencils and papers ready to take notes. With that, we're going to get started with this week in tech history. Fran, what you got for us today?
Good morning. All right, first story, August 27, 2003, the city of Fairbanks, Alaska, connected to what was at the time the world's largest battery backup. Designed to help prevent serious blackouts that plague the city every 2 to 3 years, the batteries could provide power to the city for a few minutes, enough time to start up the city's backup diesel generators. The batteries contain 13,760 cells covering more than 10,000 square feet. It was reported that in the first 2 years of operation, the battery system prevented at least 81 power failures. And that is in August 27, 2003. Largest battery backup.
That's fairly recent. Okay.
Yeah, and that's in Alaska. I guess you would need batteries then.
I think so.
Okay. Our next story, August 29th, 1883, English scientist Michael Faraday discovers electromagnetic induction. Electromagnetic induction is the primary principle behind electric motors and electric generators, two very important inventions that power and drive our electronic technology of today. So he discovered electromagnetic induction. Wow. 1831. That's okay. They were doing something besides shootouts in the Wild West.
Yeah, they were building a railroad. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on.
There was a lot of tech happening in the 1800s. Lots of things in tech were happening that set the groundwork for the things that we have right now.
Yeah, Mr. Tesla was doing stuff was happening.
Right. A lot of stuff was happening. Okay. The first building block of the internet occurred August 30, 1969. The first interface message processor, IMP, is delivered to the Leonard Kleinrock's research group at UCLA. The IMP was the device that would interconnect networks between research facilities on the developing ARPANET and the precursor, which was the precursors to the internet. As a packet switching device, the IMP can be considered the first generation of what we now call network routers. The second IMP was delivered to the Stanford Research Institute on October 1st, 1969. And the first message between the two IMPs was sent on October 29th, 1969, which is now considered the first message ever sent on the internet. In 1969. All right. Anybody remember PageMaker?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
August 31st, 2004, Aldus, the company that created PageMaker, considered the world's first desktop publishing application, merges with Adobe, the company that created PostScript, which was the page description language powering many early laser printers. The combination of PageMaker running on Apple's Macintosh and printing to the Apple's PostScript Power Laser Writer sparked the desktop publishing revolution in the 1980s. Remember, people used to put clip art and everybody. Okay. Yes. Okay, September 1st, 1977, Pioneer 11 becomes the first man-made object to fly by Saturn. And my final story, September 2nd, 1993, the world's first primitive web search engine is started. Known as W3 Catalog or the CUI WWW Catalog, it was started by Oscar Neerstratza at the Centre Universitaire d'Informatique, CUI, of the University of Geneva. This search site lasted for about 3 years before more modernized search engines began appearing.
Wow.
So, it was very crude looking. There's a picture here, but it looks very crude. I was like, wow.
Quite basic.
Very basic, just no pictures, no nothing. It was just, yeah. But you could search whatever that was on the web from 1969. Anyway, that's your week in tech history.
And just think where they could have been had they kept with it. You know, do not despise small beginnings. They could have been Google. That they couldn't see the potential and the growth.
Sometimes people do give up. They're moving along and how this is not, or it is not well received. And then they put it down. And then people come back later and make billions of dollars on Apple. Like the dude who said, I want out. He had shares in Apple and he said, I want out.
Yeah, there was three people. There was Steve Wozniak, Steve Jobs, and that other person.
Right.
I don't know. Can't remember his name.
Oh my God.
I can't remember his name, but he put in a lot of the capital in the beginning because they were, running, doing stuff out of the garage or whatever. They were just kids. And then, because this is early days. So he felt kind of jittery about being in this, this new industry. So he was like, I'm out. So he took whatever equity that he had built up then. It wasn't a lot. And he was out. But if he had stayed in with Apple today, because he's still alive.
Yep.
So
he just ain't got all them billions. He probably, I really didn't miss it. I'm like, dude. Okay.
Well, then this is a good example of being able to see what's coming and having a feel for it. Because who knew back then that we were going to be here with this? That was, when did they start Apple? Was it the 70s? I think so. So
it was. And patience is required. And then there was something else I was going to say about that. Get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable because you will be. It's going to be uncomfortable. Well, I don't know. Nobody's buying anything.
But you got to be able to see the vision. And I mean, we got to give it to back then in the 70s and the 70s. It was like nobody saw Steve Jobs' vision, Steve Wozniak. Nobody saw. So that's why Steve Jobs created all of the things that we use today because he had the vision. And people thought, I read his the book by Walter Jacobson, his biography.
Walter Isaac.
And it's a great book. I'm going to read it again. But it's a good book if you want to know like the inner workings as close as we could get to his mind, Steve Jobs, to who he was and why he did what he did now. And there's a lot of stuff in there that's not good about him. He's not a good person. He's not, fuzzy, bare. He was very
brusque
and because he had a vision.
Right. And
and nobody had it.
he was moving forward toward that vision, and he was like, I really
Mhm.
don't care what y'all think, I'm going here. He was very, he knew what he wanted
Wanted
for.
and how he wanted it, and he knew
Right.
how he wanted it, and he knew the people that could give it to him.
Right.
Okay.
And he moved forward toward
Like
that
this.
business. He kept
Right.
moving
He
toward
kept
that.
moving forward. Nobody understood his vision but him. So that's the part of that is like, people go, what's your dream? Don't let anybody kill your dream because you're holding it.
Right.
There's no two people in here holding your dream. It's you. So
You
you got
know,
all of these people that naysayers that come and say, like, and this is a little off track, but I've been watching Serena this week, and think about all of the stuff that, her father wasn't a tennis player. He was like was he like a security guard or something?
he wasn't in tennis.
Right. And he, passed by the tennis court in Compton and just boom. I should put my I got all these girls. Let me put he tried to do all of the girls, but Venus and Serena was like the two that caught it. And
Right.
the things that he did to get her to where she is now, because he was the dream holder. And people talked about him back then.
Oh my
He
God.
didn't know what he was doing, and this
He
and that and that.
their agent and so forth and so, because they were mad. They wanted to take over, management of the young ladies.
Right,
And
right.
like, no, I'm going to be their agent.
And I remember this, and this is from the movie when he said, with Will Smith was excellent, by the way, to King Richard. He said, somebody said to him, "Oh, you think you got a Michael Jordan?" He said, "No, I got two Michael Jordans. I got two Jordans." You got to give it up, the dream holders.
So what are you going to do about your dream?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to fight for it when people tell you it's not going to work? Are you going to stay there? Are you going to go the distance? Because we're looking at all these people in history,
right?
That some of them stayed the distance, and some of them was like,
We can go way back. Tesla, Nicholas Tesla,
Nikolai Tesla.
All of these people that had the dream in their head, and they were at a point in time in history where people was like, they didn't see it, so they called them crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They thought Einstein was crazy. They thought a lot of people were crazy.
Yeah. Because the dream and the thoughts that they had in that time period in history, nobody else was thinking that. But you need visionaries in order to move forward. So think about the iPhone and the smartphone. It was like, I remember the time when we didn't have the iPhone. I remember when it was announced, and I was like, that thing is going to change the world, and it did.
And it did. It most certainly did. And people were like, that's just a toy. I remember doing a blog post. Mm-hmm. Is it a toy or a tool?
Right.
And because it was the little ones, mm-hmm. and it didn't do, it didn't have a great camera on it. I don't even think it had a camera when it first started.
Right.
And it, people were like, well,
they made fun of that thing. They made fun of the iPad when they made that. So it's like the visionary. They have the vision in their mind. So it's it's up to you. If you've got that thing in your mind, please get rid of the naysayers, tune them out, and work on your dream. You never know where it's going to take you.
All of these things seem impossible at the time that the dreamer is dreaming them. Mm-hmm. So, if you've never seen it, never heard of it, then people are going to say some ugly stuff.
Yeah, they will, because they don't see your dream and what's in your head, in your mind.
Mm-hmm. And they've never seen it, so they think it's not possible.
Right. And it's like a little fire. Those people can snuff that out, and it never grows into a big fire.
True. But you got to protect it. You got to be like,
yes, you got to protect it, because you never know where your journey is. There's a song, I forgot who it is, has a song that you never know where your journey is.
Right. And the song was in my, the song that reminded me is "Dream the Impossible Dream."
Yes, that's another one.
Let's just do this. Do not let anybody water on your,
right. And this kind of thought is really important right now with all the stuff, the news and the political stuff. I don't listen to any news, because that stuff will make you feel like nothing's going to get better. Because there was a poll 2 weeks ago. I was watching one of the Sunday news shows. There was a poll that said something about 75% of, I forgot the number, but it was like a big 65% of Americans think the best days are behind us. And I was like, that is a big ass lie. I'ma say it. And
Yeah.
I was really mad that Sunday. I was around here
You need
like
to
this
stop.
is the stupidest thing I ever
Who did
heard
they
on
ask?
TV on
See,
news.
that's
The-
what always gets me about these posts. Who did you ask? Because I
Yeah,
The
always
people that they ask are the
the
people who,
naysayers. They
the
ask
people,
the naysayers.
it's the people who watch their program
Right.
in order to because the other people who are out making stuff happen
They're
are
not
not
watching
there
it. Yeah.
available to be asked.
Right. And they're not
true. I mean,
watching it. And this was like in like NBC or something. And I'm like, I'm thinking about all the people on a Sunday morning watching this thing, hearing, oh, the best days of America. No.
Let me tell you where I was on Sunday morning. I was over at the Media Meets Brunch
mm-hmm.
in the metaverse.
Okay.
Yep.
I learned some new stuff. I was like, hold on a minute.
I
Wait.
caught the replay.
I went in and I went into the metaverse on my my desktop because I didn't have the glasses or whatever. I said, let me go find some glasses. Let me go find the mask, and I wasn't paying full price. I'm like, let me go find the Oculus 2, whatever. I said, I need to figure out what's going on in the metaverse. We need to be moving. Now, I can see a lot of people are talking about, well, the metaverse and blah, blah, blah. I was like, look, there are people over there.
Yeah. They don't know when it's going to be yet.
But I'm telling you, there were people gathered over there. Dr. Tachi's brunch, there was food on the table and everything. I was like, oh, this is genius. And I before I went over there, I went to a church service because I wanted to figure out how to maneuver over there because I've never been there. And so I went over there and I went in. You create your avatar. I was in Alt Space VR, so I created my avatar and I went into this church and there was the preacher they had him preaching on the screen, right? Like the YouTube video was.
Oh, okay. They were playing a video in the metaverse.
But in that space, it was on the wall of the. I was in the foyer or in the lobby. I wasn't inside the sanctuary. I was in the lobby. And it was on a TV monitor in the lobby. And I was like, okay, let me just hang out right here. Somebody came out and said, hi, welcome. I was like, who is talking to me? Because when we're here, the people who are watching us live, they can't talk to us.
Right.
On Clubhouse, they can talk to us. If they were on StreamYard in a seat, they could talk to us. But in the metaverse, they can talk to you. And you can talk back to them. I was like, wait.
I'm having conversations.
I was like, wait, this is genius. Okay. There's so many things that can be done with that. And I've been seeing, I've been tooling around in there. And we'll talk some more about that. But Dr. Patrick, thank you so much for introducing that to us. I was just like astounded.
Yeah, I was like, wow. And then talking about the metaverse real quick before we get to Carolina, I saw this on Twitter that I didn't watch the Video Music Awards. I think it was Sunday or something. I didn't watch it, but I saw on Twitter something. What is ringing? Something is dinging. Is it me? All right. Well, was it Eminem and Snoop Dogg did they had a virtual reality performance.
Oh, okay.
And I saw it on Twitter. So they did the metaverse performance.
Right.
They were on stage at the VMAs, and then they switched to them as they became the NFTs, and they were in the metaverse. And I was like, wow. Isn't that something?
That's amazing. Wow.
All right, let me go see what's ringing.
Yes, because it's not in my space.
So it is something to look out for, and Dr. Tachi has some great guests that explained the metaverse, the pros, the cons, and it wasn't all extensive yet, but it was enough to go, let me look more into that. Made some new friends over there, so now when I go back to Alt Space, I'm not just like, crickets and nobody's over here. So it was a good experience. Thank you, Dr. Tachi, for introducing that to us.
Absolutely. I mean, let's get in there before, not that you can't, but it's still early enough in the game to be able to make a dent. So when we can do stuff like this, let's do it.
Right. It is so the very early stages. And so do we want to be on this side of history or
Early
trying to,
adopters, yes.
yeah, or are we trying to catch up? Because a lot of people would be, oh, I don't want to be over there. Okay. I know it's sometimes we don't understand some things, but then we go and get understanding.
Yes.
All right, Terry, you are up.
Well, I want to share this story about Soul Cap. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but there's a company that makes swimming caps for natural hair, and they have not been allowed to use these swimming caps during major competitions like the Olympics and the World Swimming Championships, and for whatever reason. And recently, they got approval for swimmers to use these caps. And so I'm going to share this. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these caps, but just the fact that they finally got something for my hair makes me smile. Because I was looking for something for my granddaughter's hair this summer, because we braid her hair and we put beads in her hair, and those kinds of things can catch in the filters.
Right, and that's not a good thing.
It's not
safe at all.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. And so I'm always concerned when she's swimming, because she has long hair to begin with, and then when we put a few extensions in there to keep it together, it can get pretty bulky and it can get heavy too. So finally, they have approved this swimming cap, and I'm going to read a little bit from this article. It says here, hold on, of course I lost the page. Just a second.
And this comes when there's always been this myth, or it's been touted in the past, oh, Black people don't swim. Oh, yeah, we do swim.
We do swim.
And I swim. My mom, she met the lady that swam the English Channel. She was the only African American on a swim team in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a whole thing trying to keep your hair together, especially natural, when you don't use chemicals or whatever to try and keep it together,
right?
And not get it
will shrink from the water,
right? Yeah, and the chlorine and all of that other stuff.
Exactly. So it says here, a swimming cap for Afro hair has been approved for use in top-level competitions. The specialized covering is designed for thick. I love the way they describe our hair. Thick, curly hair and styles such as dreadlocks, weaves, and braids was banned from last year's Olympics, and they weren't allowed to use these caps. Manufacturer Soul Cap described the approval from governing body FINA as a huge step in the right direction. So they say they're excited to see the future of the sport that's becoming more inclusive. Yeah, well, it helps if you have the right equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it goes on to explain it. Afro hair, as TJ was saying, is naturally drier than other hair because it has fewer cell layers. The sodium hydrochlorate or bleach found in swimming pools can dry out more, leading to damage.
Yes.
Right. We're so happy to share that our full swim cap size range is now FINA approved for competition swimming all around the world. From county to Olympic swimmers of all age levels will have more choice doing what they love. So it says here, this result plays a huge part in our wider mission to improve inclusion in the sport. And we're so grateful to everyone who showed support last year and was part of creating this change. So evidently there was a movement to get these caps approved, so that they could be more competitive. The other thing that I think about is, seconds count when you're an Olympic swimmer. And if you have the added weight of wet hair, it can make a difference in how, nanoseconds, and nanoseconds can make the difference in a championship. So this is a big deal.
Go ahead, Dr. Tati.
That's my point almost exactly. Well, I haven't made the point yet. Let me make it now. What damn advantage did they think that carrying around wet locks in this thing was going to have? If anything, it can be a disadvantage. So
Exactly.
what's the purpose of denying this and going through this stupid process to not have it approved? Again, so you want to keep pointed to equity and things being fair. You're not being fair when you do things like this, and it is clearly done out of bias. There's no advantage anybody would have had with that. That's like going swimming, right, in one of these races and then carrying a purse. Because
Exactly.
in some instances, your hair can be extremely heavy if you have locks or whatever. So there's no advantage. So it's just another way to discriminate. And so do you want us to clap for you because you did what you were supposed to do? Why do I have to have a rant every week? I released the mic.
Because it's the way things are, and we need to have a rant about different things going on. Otherwise, we'll never get change. So thank you for lending your voice. And it's great to see this happen, and just make it easier for people to be on a level playing field.
How about I just want to swim and keep my hair
I was looking
protected?
for app last summer for my, like I said, for my granddaughter. I was in here trying to make something because I was like, oh no, I got to do something about this hair.
Right.
Because when your hair is braided, you accumulate a lot of water, and just getting it dry afterwards, it's
Right.
dripping down your back all day. It's a lot. So
And there's a thing, my hairdresser, he is adamant about drying your hair down to the scalp before he even lets you out of the salon, because there mildew, fungus, and other things can happen if you let it stay wet for a long period of time. And I was like, oh, this is, well, if you don't get it wet in the first place, this will be,
which is the reason why a lot of people of color do not swim, especially in the 70s and the 60s, because we weren't going natural back then in the US. And so once you got your hair done, no
in the water.
No water.
Okay. Acceptable hairstyles in the workplace, etc. So then the lingua franca of hair was it needed to be pressed out. It needed to be straightened.
Do you remember the executive who got fired for having braids, Dr. Tachi?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, there's been an onslaught on black hair and in particular black women's hair forever since we arrived in this country. Using making enslaved women use a kerchief to hide their hair to even now. So there's always been contention when it comes to our hair, and so. That's a product of having to keep our hair straight as to why we're not doing things like, working out on a regular basis, also swimming on a regular basis, because then you're going to get chastised for not looking correct. So it's bigger than just black people don't want to swim or black
exactly. It's a whole cultural thing used to, dehumanize us from the time we arrive, the whole 9 yards. So this is a big deal, being able to have this not advantage, but this device. This is
and we need more inventions like this. I can remember when one of the movie actors, a couple, came out with something called Save Your Due. It was something for you to work out. When you're working out, you can tie your hair up.
Yeah.
to keep the sweat from messing up your
Oh,
hair.
keeping what we say is called sweating your hair back.
Right. So it there needs to be, and you know, people are now doing some things to help that process. And Mark said people think that I use gel, it's just fungus. Okay, Mark.
Oh gosh.
You know, but yeah, it's a big deal. So we're excited that it's now being allowed to be used in competitive spaces. I
Cool.
believe that Soul Cap has been in business for a while, but the fact that it has now been approved, the fact that they didn't, well, anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But I'll stop there. I don't want to go down that road because I'm like Dr. Tachi, I get pretty involved. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I think that's enough conversation for today for me. I yield the floor because there are a lot of things happening, like $3 movies, and I want to hear about DJ Nice. I'm sure that Dr. Chachi is going to talk about that, and I want to leave room in the space for that. So
Okay.
I yield the floor, guys, and stop sharing, and just let you know that there's a cap out there for your grandchildren, your children, and me.
And me.
Yes.
Okay. TJ.
Okay, I'm trying to set. I wanted to show my phone, and I forgot to.
Okay, yeah, because I want to know how you're doing that too,
Yeah,
by the way,
okay.
but I'll ask you offline. So I'm like, how
Yeah,
is he
I'm
doing
trying
that?
it. Hold on, let me see. I was trying to bring it up while you guys were talking.
Uh-uh.
Something's going on
So
with my
just so you
mouse.
know, the people in the room here, TJ was able to, on her phone now,
Mouses.
Bring up a
she's
screenshot.
able to bring
Yeah,
up a
it's not
screenshot of
working
the
for me
phone.
today. Yeah, I think I had to set it up before I got in StreamYard because now it's not. It's
Oh,
acting
okay.
weird.
So
So
it's like picture in picture. We'd be able to see her phone.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was
and it was cute. I was like, wait a minute. And she was,
and now I'm
you
trying to
know,
get my mouse to. It did something to my mouse.
Oh,
So now I
okay.
got to get my other mouse.
Okay, well let me talk about. I do have
Go
another.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I can share this. This is about a little boy named Ryan and how he started recycling and how it grew into a huge thing in his community. He started at age 3. I'm going to share my screen and play this little 3-minute video for you guys. Let me see, where am I? Okay, here we are. All right, let me start the video. I'm going to go full screen with this video. And what is this?
Finally, in our Inspiring Kids series, we introduce you to one boy from California who's helping to save the planet,
Terry,
piece of
Terry,
plastic
mute.
at a time. Ryan Hickman's love of recycling started early.
Well, when I was 3 and a half, my dad took me to the local recycling center for the first time, and I just really liked it, and I just wanted to keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
The 12-year-old from Southern California has been picking up trash for nearly all his life. And while he may have started small, he's now making a big impact. So you asked your neighbors, so you would knock on their door and get their items?
And then they would tell their friends, and then their friends, and then their friends, and now it's just really big.
These days, Ryan travels the globe and hosts cleanup events that draw hundreds of people. So far, he's helped recycle more than 1.5 million cans and bottles, adding up to more than 160,000 pounds. Does it blow your mind how much trash and recyclable materials can be found on a beach like this?
Yes, it does. It's sad that people don't pick up after themselves. Just pick it up. It's really easy. I do it all the time.
When people come out with you on your recycling days, do they get excited about this? Do they start wanting to do this on a regular basis?
If they come out, then they get inspired by me, then they keep doing this and picking up as much trash as possible.
As I soon found out, with Ryan, there's no such thing as an ordinary walk on the beach. You have a sharp eye.
You know,
Along the water in Santa Monica, we cleaned up all sorts of litter,
I see something down there.
including lots of plastic. This can't be good for animals. According to the United Nations, 1 million plastic bottles are purchased every minute, and 5 trillion plastic bags are used across the globe every year. In total, half of all plastic that's produced is single use. That means it's used one time and then thrown away. And that throwaway plastic can end up in the ocean, where it threatens all types of wildlife. If no one picked that stuff up, what could happen to it?
That could go into the ocean and harm an animal. Like a sea turtle could think this is a jellyfish and eat it, then die.
That's why Ryan has also partnered with the Pacific Marine Mammal Center,
Some of them eat plastic, some of them are just like injured, like shark attacks.
which helps rescue and rehabilitate seals, sea lions, and other marine mammals. You know, in our program, we feature a lot of kids like you who see a need and they do something about it. They don't wait, for adults. They decide to do it for themselves. What advice do you have for kids who want to make a difference?
If a 12-year-old kid like me can do it, anybody can. It's really easy. I started when I was 3.
So you just identify a passion and you do it.
Yeah.
A determined young man fighting for a cleaner ocean and a greener future, one bottle at a time. Ryan, you're doing great work. Thanks for sharing your story with us. Well, that's going to do it for us parents. Just a reminder.
So I thought that was a great story about how kids can get started so young, doing things that can help improve the planet, help them improve their neighborhood, and actually start a business. Because you get paid when you recycle bottles, and then you can he's taking that and he's using it to rescue animals. So one passion can lead to being able to support a nonprofit organization or cause. And I just thought it was a great story. And he started at 3 years old.
Wow.
And so he had some, I do believe his parents helped him on that path. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so we can help the ones coming up behind us as well, being an influence for that.
Exactly. So I
Thank
thought
you.
that was a good, heartwarming story. And I wanted to share that one. That and the swim cap.
TJ, are you ready for us?
Yeah. Oh shoot! I should have tested this thing first. I had two apps I wanted to show you.
Okay.
But, let me see. How do I just like give me a few seconds?
So while she's doing
that, Mark has a comment here.
Mark said he didn't start until age 3. What was he doing at 2? Lazy.
Wow.
That's why I love Mark.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I guess he hadn't had time on his iPad to figure out what his passion was.
But I like what they said. Find your passion and then start doing it.
Element.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I also love the fact that, we've been to Santa Monica Beach.
Yes.
We went down there for the workshop. And it's the whole idea that all of that stuff could be in the ocean like that, and the opportunity to make a difference at such a young age and to be so influential.
Right. He called him out as trifling because, come on, y'all. Just pick up after yourself. I was like,
I'm teaching my 3-year-old granddaughter to pick up after herself. She learns in daycare. I'm with Ryan, and it ain't a big deal. Just pick it up.
All right, guys, I'm gonna start because I the other one I'll probably show later because I was like trying to figure out how to do it, but I don't see it. Okay, right. So this week in social media news and updates, I usually start with Snapchat, so I will start with them because that's the thing I want to demo. So Snapchat. Remember last week we talked about Be Real and how Instagram was putting in their something challenge with the Be Real feature, and there was like a challenge where Be Real is the app that at a certain time all the people in your friends group or whatever the app will send you a notification to say, okay, it's like 2 p.m. Take a picture of where you are and what you're doing, and everybody does it at the same time. That's what Be
Right.
Real is. So Instagram had something last week. I forgot the name of it because I erased it from last week. But it's something that they're putting in the Instagram. So now Snapchat
Oh gosh.
is following Be Real by putting a dual camera feature in, like Be Real. So Be Real has this feature inside of the app. I downloaded it. I really didn't use it yet because it's all of these apps.
It's
Like,
all of them,
time.
girl.
Okay, so what it is that the dual camera function in Snapchat lets you take a picture from two perspectives, selfie and either selfie and world facing with one tap. It's like picture in picture. So they've been developing the dual camera for over a year, and they've been testing it. So it's now available in the app. So let me see. Let me make sure I can bring it up. I hope it doesn't crash me. I gotta put this down.
We're gonna cross our fingers, okay?
All right, hold on. All right,
I
let me
think
try.
Now, I think that's a genius move because if you can take the picture of the back camera and the front camera at the same
Can you
time.
see that?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so for Clubhouse, what it is that it's a camera feature in Snapchat that you can have a vertical, a horizontal, side by side. You can do that's a picture in picture. See that circle? And then this one is a cutout.
Wow. Now, see,
Oh,
okay, so this is different because Instagram can't do all of that.
no, you can't get all those looks.
And I don't even think TikTok can do all of that.
Right. So this is Snapchat. Let me take that out. So that's the dual camera feature. So there's like 4 things. It's vertical, horizontal, picture in picture, and cutout, which is like a green screen within the Snapchat camera. So now it's set. Let me get back to my notes. I had to got too many devices. So the Snapchat is saying that you can use this camera feature in Snap Stories and Spotlight videos. The feature also lets you control how the double image appears. Be Real doesn't do this. So they're saying they got something over Be Real. You can choose between a horizontal or vertical split, a circular picture in picture, or cutout overlay. So they're saying that Be Real doesn't let you control as much. And again, I haven't looked at Be Real. I haven't.
I have Be Real too. And
did you go in?
I went in there and I set it up. I do get a notification. Hey, take a photo. I'm like, whatever. And I just never taken a photo. And I get it a couple of times a day. Hey, what? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it comes up every day at a certain time. And so all your group everybody's supposed to take a picture at the same time, and then you share, and everybody goes, oh, you ooh and ah.
And that is why I haven't used it yet.
Right. So this new camera setting in Snapchat is iOS only for now. And they're saying that Android is going to get the feature in a couple of months. So also Snapchat is not sending out the notification. Like Fran just said, Be Real sends out a notification. So Snap isn't going to send out notification to post at a specific time. So this is what one of the big differences between Be Real. But what it is that Instagram and Snapchat, look out for the other apps. Once one does it, the others follow, like little, what are those birds? Lemmings? They follow each other. So look for this to come in other apps. So this is like the little hot thing for social media apps, is having this camera feature like Be Real. And it's either going to give you a notification to take a picture at a specific time or not. So Snapchat doesn't.
I think this is, I like the fact that it does the front and the back camera at the same time, which is like, oh, that would be nice because you can, you know what I mean? You don't have to like hit the little thing and spin it around and then edit it together. You can just click when it takes front camera and back camera.
Right. So this I want to get the Instagram. It's called Candid Challenges. That's what it's called. They're calling it in Instagram.
It's too cumbersome.
And we said that last week. Remember, we said that it's a stupid name.
It is.
Why
It's
not
a
just
long
put
name.
just put it in the camera and call it real or now or take a
Or,
picture now.
or
Something.
Candid. You just,
I think now would work.
Yeah.
Right
I
now.
Taking it now. Right now.
Right now.
There you go, friend. Get
Okay.
your money from Meta.
Okay, it's 8:20, 8:49 a.m. Friday, September 2nd. If they do,
Right now.
right now.
or just Candid. I mean, I'm so tired of these long names.
Candids with an S. Candids.
Right. See? Okay. They heard it first on BizChicks Tech Life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So moving on to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is working on a native post scheduling option. That means you'll be able to natively schedule a post within LinkedIn, which you can't do now. You have to use a third-party app. So it's going to be a little new clock. If you see it, it's going to be a little clock icon in the post editor when you go to create a post, and that will allow you to schedule the post.
Cool.
All right. So that's LinkedIn. Let me see before I get to the bigger ones. Anything for you? No YouTube today. Well, there was something for YouTube, but it was ad based. So I was like, that's a big one. I'm gonna save that one. That's a big one. So there's like 2 big stories. Why not? Let's talk about Twitter. Okay. So
Yes.
Twitter is launching a live test of the option to pin a tweet reply. This is just if you tweet something and say a celebrity replies to you and you want to say, oh, whoever replied to your tweet, you can pin it on your profile so people can see that you got some clout. Whoop-de-doo. So you'll be able to highlight a specific reply to your tweet, and you use the 3-dot menu to pin it. You'll be able to keep that reply at the top of the thread, maximizing exposure for that specific interaction. So the example that they gave in the article was like for celebrity engagement or to showcase helpful engaging funny responses to your tweet, which could guide the conversation. There's some brand use like inviting the most creative replies to your tweets, then pinning the best response. Think user generated content, like if Wendy's tweeted something and they wanted to pin the best response or something.
Okay.
So that's what that's about.
Mark said, I can pin the celebs that have blocked me.
Now, I don't remember if we talked about this, but they have a Twitter circle. It sounds familiar to me. They have a Twitter circle that you send tweets to a select group. I think we might have mentioned that.
Okay, but wasn't that a list or something? Because now,
no, not list. Think close. If you use the close friends in Instagram, now it's an option to where you don't tweet publicly, you tweet privately to a group.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't mention this.
I think they were testing it or something. Now it's rolling out.
It was a beta. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it's similar to Instagram's close friends that allows users to make selected tweets visible to a small group of people. Okay, here we go. So they did test it in May. I know I was like, didn't I hear about this? So they tested it in May. Now Twitter Circle is available to everyone on the mobile app and desktop web. Now I saw this and I was just like trying to tweet something. I just ignored it. I was like, hey, whatever, and just because it pops up when you're trying to do stuff, and I just clicked it and went away from it. So they're saying that this is so you can tweet, but not publicly, so you don't get harassment or all the stuff that goes on.
Go back, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so you can just have your people that you want to send this to, and not necessary public.
Oh, so now you're back into the circular firing squad.
Yeah, you could have for a business or brand, they could have like a VIP circle, join the VIP circle, charge or whatever, however you want to do it, and then they get the tweets within that circle. It's not public.
So isn't that like private group? But okay.
Right. So think like Snapchat has their private section where you message each other, and there's a private group of friends that they see stuff. So now they have that in Twitter called Twitter Circle.
Okay.
And here's the big one everybody wanted. Hold on. Twitter is testing an edit button.
Woo!
The catch. You must be a Twitter Blue subscriber.
There it is.
You have to be a Twitter Blue.
$4.99 a month.
I'm not giving you $4.99. I will just delete the tweet and do it over.
There it is. Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I wasn't sure because I switched to my mic. Just so you didn't hear the background. So can you review again, and I may be asking you something you don't know the answer to, what the $5 per month includes when you subscribe to Twitter Blue?
Okay, so from what I remember, I mean, I have it in my notes somewhere, but what I remember is that you get to change the color of the icon, the Twitter icon, like blue, you want to change it to green. There was a couple other minor things, and then now this is like the big thing that they're going to put into the subscription. And let me look it up real quick because I know there's a couple other. It's like minor stuff that you got. Remember, it was $2.99.
Yeah, it was
and
$2.99.
now, right? And now,
$4.99.
yeah. So now they're saying, "Oh, we're going to charge you $4.99. So let's put the Twitter edit button in there." But the other things were like minor things. Let me see if I can.
It's still minor. Okay. About okay, I have it, TJ, if you want it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're exploring ways to make the Twitter experience next level, and Twitter Blue is just the beginning. This is opt-in paid monthly offer, exclusive access to premium features that let you customize your Twitter experience. It was launched in US, Canada, blah, blah, blah. You must be logged in. Blue features. Okay.
It was bookmark folders. Okay. I remember that.
Yeah, and then why? Twitter Blue offers subscribers a way to enhance and customize their Twitter. These powerful controls, blah, blah, blah. Okay, where are they?
Well, one is
I'm looking at it now. Ad-free articles.
Right.
Bookmark folders.
Right.
Custom app icons.
Yes.
Themes.
Mm-hmm.
Custom navigation.
Mm-hmm.
Top articles. Don't know what that means. Reader.
Mm-hmm.
Undo tweet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And now edit.
The edit button will be there in Twitter Blue now.
I know this also includes a trip to the French Riviera.
So
okay, I'm looking on here like, why?
So listen, this is something that Twitter users asked for. I'm not one that asked. I never needed it. So they asked for it and they got it, but now they have to pay for it.
But we're not getting anything that we couldn't do
exactly.
with a delete and
the point.
Do it.
Exactly the point. Now, Twitter said that they're successful with the subscription feed. They haven't released any numbers. Like, we don't know how many subscribers, we don't know how much money revenue, but they seem to be happy with it because they increased the price and they rolled this thing out. And I know we talked about this before, that TweetDeck, which is a tool that if you manage more than one Twitter account, it's great. It's free right now, but they're saying Twitter might put that in the Twitter Blue. I'm still not going to pay the $4.99. I'll just figure something out.
But that is a better bargain than what's over there right now.
Right. When they put that TweetDeck in there, that's a better bargain, but I am not going to pay it.
Mark said, I will live by my mistakes and say $4.99.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's not like you can't undo, just delete it and start over, if anything. I think, though, when we think about it, of course they seem to be happy with their mistake, because nobody is going to come out as soon as they launch something and say, we've made a terrible mistake, we're ending this. They're going to fake the funk for a while, even if it's not where they anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just with them, but we see a lot of tech companies, we see a lot of media companies that are overly optimistic in the beginning, and they're use that cautious optimism. They're overly optimistic about how good their product or service is, which, guess what? I don't blame you. It's yours. You should. If nobody else cares, you should care. But I think there's going to be a defensiveness for a while about their product. So I don't know that we can rely on that as a true measure of how well it's actually doing.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with this edit button, there's a few caveats we must talk about. All right, so So you'll be able to edit tweet a few times in the 30 minutes right after their post. Edited tweets will show the icon, timestamp, and label, which any user can click on to see the tweet's full edit history and earlier versions. Now, what that means is that you will be able to edit it, but it will say edited 3 times, blah blah blah, and you'll be able to click on and see the edit.
So what's the point?
Words, it's
Yeah.
still there. So it's still there.
So you still have, okay.
And I have, let me see, I had the tweet that
That's-
showed the example. Let me
I
see if I can
don't-
bring it up.
I
Go ahead.
I don't see the advantage if people can still read the incorrect tweet.
Mark has a comment. He said, when the upgrade includes the ability to provide light electric shock to a recipient, call me.
All right, let me see if I can bring
get
this.
it. I don't get it.
So you can, I want you to see.
Okay, so basically they gave it to you but didn't give it to you.
Yeah, so it's not like you will be able to erase, like it's going to show the editing progression.
You really don't, it's not a true edit because it's still there.
Right.
Okay. Again, we delete and we redo it.
Well, that's what people asked for it. So now they gave it to you. Now let's see if I can bring up this.
With strings attached.
And not only that, it's like I erased my paper, but people can still see the error. What's
you erased the paper, but you can still see the error.
I mean,
Woo. Woo. Okay, here we go. I got it. Let me bring it up. Let me see if I can. Oh, I forgot. I'm in the virtual camera, so I got to go an extra step. Here we go. Let me. Ay. I can't bring it up. Why is it not coming up? Window capture. Oh, there we go. Window capture. Okay. Now, can we see that?
uh-huh.
Okay. Is it big enough? You see at the top it says, well, look what we've been testing.
No, but let me put you on single view here.
Let me see if I can get it to be. I'll zoom it in.
Okay, and then I'll put it in a single.
Yeah, put it on and let me zoom it. So
please.
How about that?
Are they happy about this?
Yeah, that's good, right?
That's good. Okay, so see, this is from Twitter for Clubhouse. This is Twitter Blue's Twitter account, and they tweeted, well, look what we've been testing, and then they have a screen image of what it will look like when it's edited. It has a pencil icon. It says last edited 8:55 a.m. 09/01/22 Twitter for iPhone. So that will be on your edited tweet.
And so the purpose of doing an edit is so that you don't have the thing that you didn't want out there, but it is still out there.
Yes, or known. So now, Terry, when you click on that last edited, does it show the error?
Now, I think this is a screenshot.
Yeah.
That's a
screenshot.
It's a screenshot.
Yeah.
But the point is that you really didn't really edit the edit.
Right. So anybody can click where it says last edited date and time and see what you changed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that is not an edit.
Oh,
isn't that special?
I got the
wonderful.
Yeah. It's called video.
Got all those screens going. So all right, so everybody got this. The edit button is finally here.
It's not.
It's testing now publicly with a small group of people.
Okay.
Once they finish the testing, it's going into Twitter Blue, and you'll have it as a feature, which that list that Fran gave of the other wonderful things for $4.99 a month. And then when you edit your tweet, people can see what you changed.
So it wasn't an edit.
And this was one of the things that was said before the argument against the edit button was because that with 45 was still president and he was tweeting and stuff, and he would say something inflammatory against another country, whatever it was, he could go in and change it and we wouldn't know. So that's what they're saying, that they have to show the progression of the edited tweets. because I know the White House uses Twitter, so that's a part of the National Archive of Records or something. So
Mm-hmm.
that can't be so they have to show like what was edited. That, do you understand what the point was? Is that some important Twitter accounts, they can't edit their stuff because of government or whatever the deal is. So that's why that edit
Because
history is in there.
let's put it this way: it's subject to subpoena if it has
Yes,
a matter of national
yes,
Security.
concern or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it could be used in court. And if
Right.
it's edited, that
Right.
is a problem.
Right.
But if they have, if they have,
it's edited, whether it's been edited or not.
supposing they had, it seems to me that they would have a backup of, everything else we do online, that it would still be there in some place and it could still be called up. But okay.
But certain people are going to say that they edited it behind the scenes.
edited, right. Behind, right, that, so because a lot of government agencies are on and official records and like Terrell just said, legal things, all these things can be used in court, so that's why they have that there.
Okay, but okay.
That edit history.
We have one person who's a prevaricator can change your whole process.
Well, and my thinking is this is a public app. This is only the second, or this is the third president that's ever used the feature. Anybody prior to 44 did not have, this tool wasn't available. So we're still in the infancy stages of them figuring stuff out.
Right.
But what happens if they sent something to a news, and Dr. Tachi, maybe you can answer this.
Yeah.
But you sent it to a news outlet, you sent something like, oh, we need to retract that. Is it retracted with the original, or is it just retracted?
So we're talking about a tweet, correct?
I'm just talking about like if it was in a newspaper and we didn't have Twitter.
Oh, okay. We didn't have it. Was in a, yeah. Well, generally the accepted thing is to, and if you're a news organization, what you would do is actually print an update or retraction, and the original stands as it is, but then you amend it with the retraction. So even in the Twitter world, now we can undo this. There's still the possibility that as quick fingers McGee as you think you are, somebody could have seen it at the time you posted, and then you realize there was a mistake in it. So if it's a news organization, if it's just like a spelling mistake or something like that, then I'd say, yeah, go ahead and do that. But if it's a mistake with information, I would leave it as it is and then print an update or a retraction to that.
Okay.
Let's
And
see
maybe
that.
that's what they need to do with Twitter.
Carlos is in the house. Hey, Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
And really quickly, it's going to be interesting to see how news organizations do handle that, because Twitter is essentially the news app.
Yeah.
Organizations are the ones that use it quite a bit. News travels up and down, trending news, etc. So I wonder how news organizations are going to use that undo, if they're going to say, no, don't do that. If you make a mistake, just do a subsequent tweet with a retraction, or what.
Right.
Now, my time when I do when I need to do an edit in Twitter, it's because I misspelled something. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was going to say what I was going to say, but I misspelled it. Now I got to delete the whole thing and put it back because I misspelled a word.
Right. Wow.
But okay. So how quickly do you have to make these changes? Did you say 30 minutes?
They said 30 minutes. Let me go back.
Because you can change the whole meaning of something by adding in a not or a maybe or a but. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, so they're saying that this is the testers. Testers will be able to edit tweets a few times in the 30 minutes right after they post. Edited tweets will show the icon, timestamp, and label, which any user can click on to see the tweet's full edit history and earlier versions. So I don't think you'll be able to go in and edit something from last year.
Eternity, yes.
Right.
Or once you post it.
Right.
back next week after you get all this blowback and put
Mhm.
it not or a but or however, you know what I mean?
Change what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. That's why I was concerned about how long.
Go ahead, Tasha.
I'm sorry, y'all, but none of that makes any sense. The only, I mean, why would you want to keep your mistakes around unless, I believe it was Dr. Tachi that stated it, unless, it can be used in the court of law or some kind of, act of criminality or something. I mean,
Well,
do you want to see how you misspelled somebody's name or you forgot to put a but or an in a sentence or something like that?
Okay, so let's talk about the legality of Twitter. And I just remembered something. This was a while back. I don't remember when it was, but Lizzo used somebody tweeted something. Was it the 100% Dead Chick or something? Lizzo put it in her song, but the person tweeted it like a year before, and she used it. So that tweet was used in court. Because Lizzo had to pay that girl because she stole her line from Twitter.
Ah.
This was a while. I can't remember all the details. That's just the basics of it. But like I said, the White House uses it. This uses it. That uses it. And that goes in the National Archives because any kind of government agency that's tweeting something has to do with FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. If you're putting stuff on the internet and it's connected to a government agency, there's a legality part of it, and Carolina knows, right? There's the FOIA and stuff like that. So
it's
that's why,
Mhm.
right? So that's why the edit history has to be there because of legal stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many permutations with that. So again, like I said, I never wanted the edit button. If you make a mistake, delete it and start over.
Thank you. Because but that deleted tweet, they still have it, right?
It's there on the servers. Everything you do online is on a server somewhere.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
There was, and this is off track for a second. Do you remember a few weeks ago they were crying and wringing their hands about the Secret Service deleting their messages from their phone? And I was like, they're somewhere.
They're still out there.
Especially the Secret Service. They're going to be able to recapture their own stuff.
Any device you use that's government property, and it's backed up several places. I know firsthand. So when people were wringing their hands, the Secret Service deleted their thing, and they said it was an accident because they moved. I was like, man, there's like 10 backups to that thing. They just had to find it. Or this is another thing: the government will not tell us everything because of secrecy. So people were wringing their hands and crying. I was like, man, the Senate got the general. They got those things.
Keyword secret.
Yes. So that's why it's everything that's online now, the internet, because the internet was started by the government. So,
and frankly, I don't want to know all of that because
I don't care. I didn't really care.
I just want to be oblivious.
Right. But see, that's just one of the things that anything, if you work for a government agency, you're a government employee, federal government, even state, they're backed up somewhere.
And a need to know basis and all of this paperless crap is just that. They still got boxes. You saw the boxes of Secret Service stuff on the floor.
Right.
Believe me, it's triplicate.
It's because of the FOIA Act. For example, like when we switched out users' new computers at the agency I work with, we had to keep the hard drives. We kept the hard drives. They're kept because you're using a government agency computer, so they're kept.
Yeah, they okay. All of the spy movies and everything I've watched, go get the hard drive.
Right.
Well, it got damaged in the fire. Go get it anyway.
And also, our network was backed up in North Carolina and Puerto Rico and New Jersey. So that's how I know that there's a backup of a backup of a backup.
In case there's a natural disaster.
In case of disaster, that's why.
Somewhere else.
If something happens to the paper.
Right.
I mean,
right. So I worked it here in the New York agency.
All of this
And
to
if
say
our
that
New York agency went down here in New York City, we had to back up in New Jersey or Puerto Rico because it's divided by regions. The agency I was in was divided by regions. So regionally.
There's Colorado. There's
Right.
there's
It's
all kind of places.
region 1, region. I think there's 6
the
regions.
federal government is divided into regions across
Right.
the country.
Right. So each region has its own backup of a backup of a backup because of, just like Carolina just said, a disaster. A storm knocks something out, a flood, or this or that. Everything's backed up somewhere. So when that, so getting back to Twitter and why they have to have that, it's because of Freedom of Information Act, and if it had to go to court, anything, there it is. There's the tweet. So it seems trivial, social media, but just remember, everything that's posted is saved somewhere, and is saved for legal reasons.
Yeah.
So that's it. So there's the Twitter edit button. If it was something you wanted, go over to Twitter Blue, give them, $4.99 a month, and you'll be happy. Me, I'm just gonna delete. If I ever tweet something I don't like, I just hit delete and retweet it.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
I really don't understand what the big deal was, but for those people out there that use Twitter and wanted it, well, there's your big deal.
Well, I mean, and if they would have just put it where you can delete it and not have all the strings attached, then that might have been a thing, but they can't do that.
And they have to pay. They thought it was going to be free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we knew it wasn't. You told us it wasn't.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
They don't do that for free, and why should they? Because somebody got to keep the lights on.
We're gonna talk about this free versus paid in a few minutes. So we're moving on to Instagram. Okay. So Instagram has launched some new tools to help with content recommendations. Now, remember Adam Mosseri a few weeks ago? He said something about there was the Reels taking over Instagram, and also people were seeing suggested posts and they got mad. And then Adam came on and said, "Oh, we're taking it away from now." And I said it was coming back. Well, here you go.
Back.
Here you go. So, so they're giving you some new features designed to help you control what you're seeing in the app. So they have something called Not Interested. It's ability to mark multiple posts and explore as not interested in order to streamline your algorithm so it doesn't show you those things.
Sounds like somebody else we know. Okay.
Here's the quote from Instagram. We'll immediately hide those posts and refrain from showing you similar content in the future. So that's what this not interested. So real simple. If you're in Instagram and you see a suggested post, you go, I don't follow that person. Why am I seeing it? You can go to the Explore tab, tap not interested on all the things that you're not interested in, because you can go in and do it multiple times, like not just one, and hit done. And then you won't see posts from those accounts or that type of account. They're not saying the time limit, but I guess forever. Also, you can block by certain words, phrases, or emojis that are in the caption or included tags. Here's the quote from Instagram. Whether you're seeing something that's not relevant or have moved on from something you used to like, you can now use this feature to stop seeing content that's not interesting to you. So that's the deal behind it. So when you go into the Explore tab, you either see the type of post like Reels and this and that. You'll tap each one and hit done, or you'll go into the word section. It says add word, phrases, or emojis. And you will just type in the emojis or the words of posts in the captions that you won't see.
Okay.
So Instagram is making you do the work, but they're saying, hey, we're still going to show you suggested posts. We're still going to show it to you.
Bless the heart. Okay.
Yes, it just, we're gonna serve it up to you. You can.
So this was the deal. I remember a few weeks ago, everybody was upset, and I was like, "Listen, this thing is coming back. They're just going back to tweak it, and also Instagram is making you do the work of refining your feed." They say, "Oh, if you don't like it, switch to favorites or following at the top. You can switch your feed."
Yes, but it pops back every time. You got to do it every time.
Right. So people were saying, why do I have to do that? That's too much work. So now Instagram is saying, well, here's some more work to do. So again, they're going to, Zuckerberg wants this. So it's going to happen. It's just that Masari went and was like, okay, we're going to appease you guys right now. We're taking away the test. Don't worry. They're sneaking that thing back in. See?
They didn't even sneak it back in. They just put it back in. And
Put
then
it back in.
if you don't like it, you can just tap
Right.
over here.
Right.
to-
You let the outrage die down and you just do what you got to do. So here we go. All right. So speaking of Meta, so let's talk about Facebook. Facebook is shutting down a couple things. They're shutting down the Nextdoor clone. Remember that test that they had in Canada that was a Nextdoor clone called Neighborhoods, and you were supposed to go in and all the neighbors were going to talk like in Nextdoor? They're shutting that down.
Well,
Why?
Doctor,
why? Yeah, sorry. Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Nobody used it. That's why.
Nobody.
you had next door.
Understand their
It's
neighbors in real life. Do you think that some people actually want to talk to them? And that didn't make any sense. You're forcing community amongst people that may not want to be a community.
Quite frankly, I don't know why neighborhood is working in California because I don't even know my neighbors. It's not that kind of party here in California.
I left mine because I was like, I don't want to know all that stuff. It's
It's
stupid,
way too much information.
stupid stuff.
And next door, it's there, and there are a lot of people who are using it, but it is a lot of drama. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I can't
Yeah.
stand it next door. And that could be also a reason why, Facebook did not read the room. There is so much complaining and just
Whining.
stupid stuff on next door that I signed up for, but I left. Like I don't want to read all of that. So
That's what I said.
Exactly. I don't want to hear every time a dog barks too much or every time
Okay,
somebody.
so here's a good idea for Nextdoor. If you're a local business, you want to be on Nextdoor because you can set
right,
up
because you can hear if somebody, like for me,
Yes.
I'm thinking about selling my home. Ding, ding,
Yes.
ding. Let me go and talk to you. But
yeah.
other than that, I was like, ooh, y'all got issues.
Yeah, real estate agents, you want to be in Nextdoor. Local businesses, the local bakery, the local whatever, dry clean. You want to be in there.
Man, all of that, you definitely want to be in next door.
Yep.
Anybody know how I can get my gutters cleaned? Okay.
There you go. And you want to run ads. If you're a gutter cleaning service, you better run some ads in Nextdoor. That's where you want to be locally.
Yes, but oof.
But anybody
Just
else,
being
I
in
left. Like
Nextdoor?
Dr. Todd just said, I left. Too much. It was too much.
Drama.
Ooh, you guys need to stop.
You know what? I'm glad to know that it's a universal thing. I'm not glad to know, but it's interesting that it's universal because so often I'm like these South Florida people, and these South Florida people are, but it's a common thing with next door all over. So it's universal, and it's not just stupid South Floridians.
No, it's about gossip.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. So here's one more thing on that. So Meta says it initially invested in neighborhoods because it saw how popular local content was on this platform. But Facebook realized the best way to move forward in this area was to allow people to continue to use Facebook groups that's what they've been doing. There's already groups because I have one for where I live, and I'm in that group. It was already a group, so why make something called neighborhoods and have people go to that? It was stupid. So they, it wasn't working, so they got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another thing that Meta got rid of: the Facebook gaming app. That's shutting down October 28th. They launched that back in 2020.
What gaming app? Okay, we didn't even know that.
Exactly. So they launched this in 2020. They wanted to tap into the rising popularity of gaming as a social element during the pandemic. So they were like, oh, let's get it. Remember, Facebook was like, oh, we're going to do live audio. We're going to do this. We got neighborhoods. We got that. So now all of that stuff is shutting down because it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to a separate app. Gamers are on YouTube, Twitch, or they're in Fortnite. There's groups in there. They're already in there. They're not going to come out and go to Facebook. So Facebook,
they are committed.
Right. And remember, Facebook had their revenue was down like 1%. So they're slashing them and Snapchat. Snapchat let go 20% of their workforce. So. Right. So ad spend is down. They lost a few billion, and now they're like cutting the stuff that doesn't work. And here's the last thing. Meta is thinking about bringing a paid tier like Snapchat Plus and Twitter Blue. Meta is working on a new paid feature for all of its social media platforms and has created a new monetization experiences group to oversee this. So this has come from The Verge. The Verge reports that the company's new group will focus on building paid features for 3 social media platforms, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. This could help Meta develop a steady revenue stream fueled directly by users instead of the ads, making it a sustainable option if Google follows in Apple's footsteps. Now, what does that mean? Remember, Apple did their thing, was it last year, the Ask app not to track?
Yeah.
That was last year, the update. So everybody, when it pops up, say, don't track me. What does that mean? There's no third-party data for Facebook to run ads. They get that data when you use the app or on the desktop and stuff like that. So Google might do the same thing. Have a pop-up that says ask app not to track, and you say yes or no. What
and most people are gonna say no. Ask app not to track. Click.
Right. Click. Do not track me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like 95, 98%. I'm just throwing out a number, but that's what's happening. So Google is a company, a corporation that they were built on Google Ads, third-party data. You going and searching and doing this and that, and they serve ads while you're going and searching. Same thing with Facebook. So this is what's going on. So if the ad revenue is down 1%, I think it was like 7 or 8 billion for Facebook. They're looking at cutting costs, which is why they're getting rid of all of these things. These extra things got to go because they cost money because they have to pay the programmers to work on that specific project. So now it's like they see Twitter Blue, they see Snapchat Plus. And remember, I think I said a few weeks ago, Snapchat Plus is happy with their numbers. They didn't release their numbers on the subscription, but they're happy with it. So that means it's enough for them. So Meta is going, Instagram Plus, Facebook Plus. You pay $2.99, whatever, 99 cents, whatever, and you get extra features. Just like we were just talking about Twitter Blue. What do you get with the $4.99? They're putting extra stuff in there. So this is Meta thinking about and laying a plan for monetization that doesn't include ads. So now Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Go ahead.
But that I rarely notice the ads coming through on Facebook because it does say promote it down in the little, it tells you that it's an ad or what have you. I don't know. Am I in there long enough to notice whether or not it's an ad or if I'm bothered by it? I don't know.
Okay, so let me add this little piece for the monetization experiences group for Facebook. Facebook will be free. There will be a free tier. Instagram will be free. There's a free tier as you know it now. Extra features. If you want, oh man, I wish Facebook did this. Here you go, and it's going to cost you $4.99 a month. Same thing that Snapchat did. Snapchat is still free. They have Snapchat Plus. Twitter's still free. They have Twitter Blue. You pay for the extras. Now the extras they need to put in there to sweeten the pot for you to go and pay that money. But they're looking at it. That means it's coming.
Wouldn't it be cheaper and easier just to hold our photos hostage and charge us everybody on the planet?
No, they're not going to hold your photos. I just said Facebook as it is now will stay free. It will stay free. They will add a paid tier of VIP extra things. You want to do this? Here you go.
Right.
You go into the paid tier, but it will stay free.
It's kind of like Netflix. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now we want it ad free or Hulu ad free or whatever.
Or they have the level. Doesn't Netflix have the HD? You pay extra for HD.
For HD, yeah. And
that's what it's going to be. You can watch Netflix regular, whatever size. If you want standard, 4K, definitely. Right? Standard size. If you want 4K, that's extra.
Right.
So Facebook, WhatsApp, and all of those things, and we don't know what's the extra is because they're just starting. They have this group, and that's what they're figuring out. What can we put in this paid tier to get people to buy it, to pay the monthly fee? It's going to make them happy. They're working on it right now. We don't know what it is.
I know I don't know what it is.
But what I'm saying to you, based on how Twitter does it, Twitter is free. Twitter Blue costs. Snapchat is free. Snapchat Plus costs. So,
and it's going to be, I mean, you know, if Facebook would have started out at the gate with people paying, it might have worked too.
Right.
Except for they were getting all this ad revenue until Apple locked everything down.
So Apple locked it down. Google's talking about doing the same thing. So Meta is like, well, we need that data in order to give to people to run ads to reach their target audience. If we don't have that data, we can't guarantee. Well, they don't guarantee, but they're not going to be able to reach the people they need to reach because we don't have the information.
Right.
So that means ad revenues were going down. It's already going down because of Apple. So it's going to go down even more. So Facebook the Meta is going, how do we keep our shareholders happy by making sure, you know, they're happy and they're getting money and we're getting paid and we're keeping our trillions of dollars or whatever they have. Monetization. And Snapchat and Twitter Blue led the way. So this is to come. It may happen next year or whenever they figure it out. This monetization experiences group, that's their job, is to figure out how to get people to pay for Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram.
It's going to be an uphill battle unless they offer things that people truly see.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be a need. It just has to be like something, oh, that's cool, I would pay for it, it's cheap enough. But because when you start out free, it's then difficult to turn around and charge people for things. You all remember with all of these blab-like platforms, so there was Fire Talk, right? There was Smile Time, and I remember initially, I think, and then there was Huzzah, and I remember all of these were free initially, except I think Fire Talk started out of the gate charging, but the other were free initially, and then they wanted to try and add paid tiers. Well, I'm used to getting free, so unless you start right out of the gate with something that it has a tier, then then I'll feel like, all right, well, this wasn't really a ploy. I can upgrade if I want. But I feel like it's a ploy if it starts out free and then all of a sudden you've got a paid tier, and a lot of the things we were enjoying for free then become under the paid tier. So they just have to be careful, I think.
Right. And see what? Let me say it again. The way we use Facebook right now will stay free. They're not going to charge for the way it is. Because you're used, like Dr. Tox, we're used to it. Why would I pay for something that I've been using for free for like 12 years or however long Facebook's been around? This is why this group, this monetization experiences group, has been developed. It has a CEO and everything. Their job is to sit around and figure out what can they offer and to whom. I'm thinking Facebook groups and business owners, that there might be some money there because a lot of people run their ads on their customers and they need to run ads and reach people on Facebook. So I'm just saying this is my thought. I don't know what they're going to do, but they need that group's job is to think of features, and it's got to be better than what Twitter Blue offers, and it's got to be better than what Snapchat Plus offers. I don't care about changing the icon color to sparkly unicorn. What I don't care about that kind of stuff. But if they start going, okay, well, you admin a Facebook group and you have 10,000 people in your group, you might have to pay a fee. These are my ideas.
I'd be mad at them if they tried to do that. I wouldn't if they tried to do that.
But what I'm saying is they're going to do something.
Right.
Yeah, they are going to do something. But I don't, and I know this is a separate group, but I also don't trust Facebook not to do something like
right. That's what I'm just throwing off my idea. They might have this group is going to come up with a whole different whatever, but their job is to figure out what can they offer to get people to pay for this tier on Facebook. It has to be something spectacular. It can't be changing the icon. It can't be, oh, you can change your username or put sparkly whatever on you. It can't be those kind of dumb things. It's got to be something meaty for them to pay the $2.90, whatever the price point they set. So this is the job of this group. Meta has created. It has a CEO and everything. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. I'm just saying that it's going to be something that either business owners, because business owners are invested in Facebook so much. There's a lot of them that are invested, especially with ads. So I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just thinking it's either going to be, it won't be the regular people that just go into Facebook and post, hey, happy birthday. It won't be that. It's not going to be that. Those people are good. It's going to be either admins of a large group or business owners with a large, that's what I'm thinking. But they ain't going to come up with the idea. It could be something new that nobody's heard of. I don't know. But that's what's happening.
Wow.
So Meta's thinking about a paid tier. They have a monetization experiences group with a CEO, and he's like, they're sitting around thinking about ways to enhance the experience for the users. So you see what Twitter Blue has given us. An edit button that you don't really, I'm like, I don't want that. But some people are paying the $4.99 for it. And actually, remember, Twitter Blue was $2.99, and they just raised the price, and people are still paying it.
Mm-hmm. People probably don't know it's being raised, and
well, they should.
Well, you know what I mean. How you?
I know. People put stuff on, and they don't look at their credit card saying, "I'm like, you should. You should." So that's it. So monetization is on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
When it's going to come from Meta, I don't know when, but it's on the horizon. So these are things we need to think about. But as far as we use it now, the experience is free. They need to keep that free tier, because if they told everybody 2.9 billion people, users on Facebook, you got to pay $2.99, how many people would delete their account?
There would be a whole lot of deleting going on.
There would be so many people deleting. So then they know that Facebook Meta knows that they cannot do that. There will be a free tier of Instagram. There will be a free tier of Facebook. There will be a free tier of WhatsApp. And I believe WhatsApp has added a whole bunch of things. I got to go back and check because I really didn't pay attention to it. But they've added a whole bunch of things like communities and other things where those can move to paid tier. Now, again, another one, Telegram. Telegram has a paid tier. So this is where they're moving. Paid tiers. Monetization, monthly fee.
Sounds like when everybody exited Netflix and started their own little...
Right, remember? Yeah, because Netflix was just standalone. We standing alone. We got all the users, and then everybody else came out of the woodwork, and now look at where we are now. So just something to think about. It's on the horizon is what it is.
Wow.
And that's the social media news update for this week.
Wow.
It's a lot, right?
Man, I'm telling you, we got things to think of over the what is this? Labor Day
weekend.
Yes. Dr. Tachi, you have the floor.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Hello, everyone. For having a fantastic day. It's Labor Day weekend, so I'm sure there are a lot of people that will be traveling, doing road trips, plane trips, or whatever types of trips, boat trips. Be safe and enjoy. I know that Terralina mentioned that there is an event this weekend that D-Nice is doing. They are doing CQ Live in Vegas. This is a Vegas experience, and it started initially off with you had to have, it was an entire experience, so the hotel and all the tickets were included, and so you couldn't buy tickets outside of that. So then they opened it up, and you can buy individual tickets to individual events, which makes it easier because now you can really stay at whatever hotel and do what you like. So I've already seen a bunch of live streams where people landed yesterday. Some people will be landing this morning. I got a lot of questions if whether or not I would be there, to which I said, well, I asked the sewer line that was threatening to blow up my house, and he said no. So I will not be joining you in Vegas. He said I had to pay him tax first. So I'd rather be able to flush toilets and not have sand in my bathtub. So that's a strong no. But to all my CQ massive that are in Vegas, enjoy yourselves, have fun. And it's been great because Vegas is such a great city for other things as well. So in addition to all of that, people have been going to, there was like some hip hop show that was in Vegas. A lot of people have gone to see Usher, who is in residence in Vegas. I don't remember which hotel. But that's a big show. He's been like selling out every night. So a lot of people go see Usher. And of course, I always recommend to people, go see a Cirque du Soleil show. There are several that are in Vegas. I've seen about 7 of them. So if you're into dance and acrobatics and storytelling, it's absolutely amazing. So make sure you go, if you're in Vegas, see a Cirque du Soleil show. Absolutely.
Right. And Adele too, right? Adele's supposed to be there in December, I think.
Yes. Her residency hasn't started yet, yeah, but she will be, yes. Yeah, so there are a lot of people in Vegas. It's just, it really is a great place to visit. I enjoy it. I'm usually there every year for NAB, and it's been actually since 2018, because I missed 19, and then 2020 was the pandemic. So I haven't been back since, but I'm looking forward to next year in Vegas. All right. Well, I need to start off with before we get to some other media stuff. Crypto.com. I'm really big into crypto, the metaverse, and NFTs. So Crypto.com mistakenly transferred about $7.2 million to a woman that they owed a $70 refund. So this was a woman in Australia, and apparently they owed her like a $100 refund, basically, right? So according to court documents, and what happened is an account number had been accidentally entered into the payment amount field, and instead of $100, it ended up being like $10 million. So they said this, and did the woman say, "Hey, you made a mistake"? No. This woman, this fool, actually went and spent it. She bought like a luxury home. She gave some money to family members, because what she did is, she just cashed out all the crypto, which you can do, cash it into currency, into fiat. So the state of Victoria in Australia, their Supreme Court has ordered the home, which was bought by the woman's sister, to be sold and the money returned to the company. So, case in point, when somebody makes a mistake, somebody is going to figure it out eventually. My thing is that it took them so long, because it was 7 months later that they discovered the mistake. Who is your accountant?
Wow.
Yeah, so word of warning, if you get crypto by mistake, send it back.
No wonder she thought it was her 7 months. She thought, okay, must be real.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I'm sure she was also looking over her shoulder all the time and jumping when the phone rang.
Right, because she should have made a phone call. That would have been a phone call, like, excuse me.
Exactly. Even though it's notoriously difficult to get in touch with these people by phone.
Well, yeah.
Dear sirs or madame.
And if they responded back, this is a hoax, and stop bothering us, I'm like, okay, deuces, all bets are off. I tried to tell you.
No, absolutely. But you know what? They still would have said, but it's not yours. You still have to pay it back. So I would have held that. There may be some statute in terms of that, but hold on to it.
Yes.
Because then maybe after the statute of limitations runs out, then it's yours. But until then, don't spend a dime.
Right.
So let's talk about, and Carolina brought this up too, which is actually very cool. It is yesterday was actually National Cinema Day. And so you could get you could have gotten $3 tickets at AMC, Regal, and other theaters across the U.S. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It's tomorrow.
Isn't it? Okay, thank you.
It's tomorrow. I apologize. I was thinking that it was yesterday, but no, it is tomorrow. So National Cinema Day is tomorrow. More than 3,000 theaters are going to be participating. This is the first time they did it ever, and I'm clapping for them, kind of like, you should have been done this. Because the point is to get people back in the theaters and trust back in theaters and the safety of it. So to do that, you offer reduced price. Now they've been doing things. A lot of theaters have been doing things like offering like facial sheet masks, free popcorn, things to draw people in. But forget all that. If you give me $3 movie, I may be persuaded to go. And so they'll be selling tickets for every movie, including the more expensive formats like IMAX and 3D for $3.
Shut up.
Yes. So you could go see your favorite IMAX movie or 3D. I hope that includes the glasses for $3. So Jackie Brenneman is the president of the nonprofit Cinema Foundation, and she said to CNBC, make it that the idea for this National Movie Theater Day holiday was well in the works before 2020, but that COVID-19 forced those plans to be postponed. So, Regal Cinema's parent company, Cineworld, held a similar event in the UK in February, and it was wildly successful. I hadn't heard about that one.
I hadn't either.
Yeah. So she said it gave a model template for how we could do something at that scale in the United States. And in addition to being a thank you for fans who return to movie theaters during the summer blockbuster season, they hope that people who haven't been to the movies in a few years will be tempted to visit their local theater. So, $3 if you are brave enough to go. I am not, but if you are, it could be definitely worth it. In fact, you could probably see a couple of them, make a whole day of it and see a few movies, because you could see 6 movies for the price that you would see for one.
Right.
Oh, it's sort of like Movie Pass for the day.
Yeah, movie pass for the day. No, that would be cool, right? Because I've done that. Like I said, there was a movie. There's a movie theater here called Cinema Paradiso. Actually, they've changed it into Old Cinema, and it's nearby. And they do a lot of programming. They do indie films, and so they had a Around the World in 80 Days film festival where it was over 2 days. It was like all day. So one Saturday, I took my blanket because I get cold. I had some popcorn and I sat there all day watching the movie. It was fantastic. So you probably could do something like this. And in fact, they probably should offer passes to do that.
Yeah. That would get people on, not just on a cinema day, but do it periodically to keep, to entice people to come back in.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out, folks. If you are interested in going to the movies tomorrow for National Movie Theater Day, it is $3. Let's talk about Netflix. Of course, I always have something to say about Netflix. Their ad tier supported launch has been moved up to November ahead of Disney Plus. The Disney Plus, they're telling ad buyers. So it's moving up. Remember, it was supposed to be next year, and it keeps inching closer and closer because they need the money now. Let's tell the truth. So here's the prices for these. We're looking at $7 and $9, basically for the basic ad-supported tier. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. And the $14 one or whatever we're at right now, we shouldn't be having ads, right?
No, you should not.
Okay.
Now, anyway, I don't ever say never, but the plan is for there to be an ad-supported tier that would be either $7 or $9, and that's the basic. But see, what they did is just replace the basic $9.99 tier with that, right? You're not wise, nor smart, nor slick, Netflix. We see you. So let me talk about the rate that they're charging for ads for advertisers to ad. So it starts at $65, $65 CPM. So click per, what is that? Click per 1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the CPM is a click per thousand. So it's $65. That's kind of high.
That's low.
It's
That-
kind of high. But that lets you know that they're serious about actually making revenue with this. So they're also asking for a $10 million minimum commitment in annual ad spending from agencies right now, according to Variety. And the company wants to lock in ad buys by September 30th to meet the November 1st launch date. So Netflix has told ad buyers that they expect to have 500,000 customers on their ad-supported plan by the end of this year. So that's a I wouldn't say a lofty goal, but it is a goal. It is a goal. So again, they haven't settled on the retail pricing, but it's looking at being between $7 and $9. So for those of you that, at first I was thinking about, well, maybe to keep this, I would downgrade. But again, the argument has also been we may not see every property that Netflix had would not be included in the lower tiers. So if I'm going to do that, that doesn't make any sense. So there's a lot to consider when weighing. So weigh carefully, folks. Let's talk about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm about to weigh them out of my life, but go ahead. I'm going to show them the way out the door.
I feel you. I'm getting more and more to the point where I would probably be okay not having them. If I'm going to do an assessment, like probably November, and if I'm still not really seeing anything and I'm not using it, then I'm okay, like at least pausing it for a while, because no. So let's talk about SNL, Saturday Night Live, if anybody still watches. They've lost 3 more cast members ahead of season 48. Maybe season 48 should be the last season? I don't know. Well, they're still getting ratings, so they're going to keep going. But regulars Alex Moffat, Melissa Villaseñor, and featured player Aristotle Athari are leaving the NBC show. So their departures follow Aidy Bryant, or is it Heidi? I don't know how she says her name. Pete Davidson has left. Kate McKinnon has left, and Kyle Mooney. And they said their goodbyes in the final episode of last season. This past season, season 48. So they've lost quite a few members. So it's going to be. Look, it's difficult. I guess the only thing is they still have their longest running cast member, Kenan Thompson, is still there. He's not anywhere. But other than that, you can look to see that. Well, so let's. There are no more departures, but Michael Che will still be there. Mikey Day, Ego Nwodem, Punky Johnson, and Cecily Strong, and a few others will still be. And yes, as I said, Kenan Thompson is not going anywhere. Kenan can't seem to let go of that good SNL. Let's talk about Disney, if we could.
Okay.
So guess who else is considering their own type of Disney Prime membership? Disney. So here we go. They are reportedly digging deep into the idea for their own kind of exclusive membership program. So according to the Wall Street Journal and Gizmodo, they're basing this off of some anonymous sources and some ongoing conversations that Disney execs have internally called this initiative Disney Prime. So that obviously indicates that they are expecting a new subscription service. So Prime memberships offer fast, free shipping that for packages like Amazon, right? But what Amazon does is they also include discounts at Whole Foods and access to Amazon Originals on Prime Video, as well as shipping. So they're looking at that same type of thing. So apparently the first step would include an in-app commerce for the Disney Plus streaming service. And that would allow users to buy merch by scanning QR codes while they're using the app, which link to the online Disney store.
Okay.
It could also, and we don't know this yet, but it could also give you cheaper tickets for the theme parks, for Disney cruises, and Disney toys. So they use an example of, for example, an exclusive toy version of the Dark Saber that was seen in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and then later The Mandalorian. So yeah, it could be that. So Disney, of course, did not respond immediately to their request for comment, but yeah, we will see. So a Disney corporate spokesperson said, told Deadline that, quote, Disney is more than a brand, it's a lifestyle. We're exploring how to better serve them across our many touch points. And she added, a membership program is just one of those exciting ideas beyond being explored, notoriously vague. So what we do know is that a Disney Prime membership is coming, and it will include more things than programming. It could include discounts on theme parks and more. So I don't know. You all tell me. Would you all obviously subscribe to Disney Plus? If it wasn't that much more expensive, would you be game for subscribing to a Disney Prime?
I don't know.
I don't know. They gonna deliver groceries?
Good question. I didn't notice anything about delivery per se, but that doesn't mean it's off the table. But to be honest, I don't think that they're interested in that.
Well,
I don't know that they are interested, but they could be.
Well, because I'm trying to think, what else could I get from Disney that I don't have now, except for if I wanted to shop from the Disney stores or go to Disneyland,
Right.
or stay at the hotel or take a cruise, then that might work. But
Right. Look, I done told you the lightsaber.
Oh,
You hear what I said? The
I
lightsaber.
forgot about that.
Pay attention here, folks. The lightsaber, the damn lightsaber. So there are probably also, they're going to have to add in things because this would directly compete with something like an Amazon Prime. And Disney, they're in two different genres right now. Disney is content and different types of content and affiliated products. Amazon began the game as a shipping company, right? They began like that. So this is something that is out of the wheelhouse for Disney. However, Amazon didn't start with content, right? They added that later. So you can never say never, but they have a long way to go if they're trying to touch Amazon in terms of shipping. I mean, Walmart is really the closest competitor right now to Amazon, and they're really not touching them. Not that they're so far away, they're trying to catch up, but Amazon is still number one when it comes to that. I mean, AliExpress, when we talk about worldwide, is another aspect of that as well. Yes. So AliExpress and Amazon. But we'll see. Let's see what happens with them. All right.
This is interesting. Because I'm about to cut them loose too, because the only people who use it are my grandkids, and they're here every so often. I'm like, we just gonna have to join and unjoin or 7-day trial some stuff. They're doing the
Yeah, no, exactly. If that's what it is, because look, we all played that game of, oh, when is this coming out? Well, I guess it's bye-bye until that next
exactly.
Well, there's just too much competition. Too much competition, not just for your attention with programming, but for you to pay for it.
Yes.
Agreed.
Right. Now you want my attention and my money.
Exactly. Too. Do you want to take my head too? So that's actually what I have for you today in terms of media news. So
Thank you.
Okay, now, Doc, isn't DJ Nice going to be at Carnegie Hall?
Oh, that already happened.
Yeah, that happened already.
That?
Carnegie Hall was in August.
Okay. Huh.
And it was phenomenal because everybody I knew went live. So, at first we were like, oh, everybody's like, they're very strict rules, Carnegie Hall. That all went out the window once they got there. So we got to see all the wonderful performances. D-Nice is actually revolutionizing the way, not only the way we listen to music, but who we listen to. He has so many people back on the map. old school original hip hop because that's where he comes from. Listening to people like Melba Moore. Melba Moore is a very active part of Club Quarantine. Listening to a lot of people, I think the quarantine did a lot in terms of a resurgence of music, but then a resurgence of music from like the 80s and 90s as well. So kudos to everybody that's going to be there. But yeah, Carnegie Hall was amazing, and that was actually it was great because that was the first time that probably not the first time, but it was the first time that a hip hop event of that magnitude was done, and they had an orchestra. They were doing it with an orchestra, and it was an urban orchestra because they play a lot of hip hop covers, etc. But they are a full-fledged orchestra, predominantly of color. So it was just amazing, and I know he has to feel good that he was able to accomplish such a thing.
Right, and if you go to D Nice on Instagram, he got because I remember like Dr. said, people were there filming it and stuff. So, but on his Instagram, he's got some video and stuff. So little snippets.
Oh, nice. D Nice. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. All right. So thank you. We are wrapping up right now. We want to thank you for tuning in live and on the replay. If you want to become a part of BizChicks TV or become a part of the BizChicks community, you can text BIZ to 33777. That's BIZ to 33777. You can also go to bizchicks.net and join up there. We look forward to working with you. We have First Monday coming up this Monday at 8 a.m. We'll be talking about your business and your services. We would like to showcase you. And if you would like to join in on that, just, send us a DM on or messenger, DM, emails, all the ways that we can be reached. We appreciate that. We also have been doing some new things. We go live on Instagram on Thursdays at 1 p.m. So be sure to check us out then as well. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back Monday for First Monday. And Terry or TJ?
We just want to remind everybody that it's okay to make money in your business. So remember to go to the front of your own line. We look forward to seeing you and helping you. If you're looking for help with your tech, etc., be sure to contact TJ. And we want you to be sure to listen to Mediascope over there in the clubhouse and on their podcast. We look forward to helping you run a profitable business that's fun to run. We'll see you Monday. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Okay.